Royal fans devastated at Charlotte bursting into tears. "We are so proud of you." Princess Charlotte was pictured in tears after she said her final farewell to her beloved Gone. Royal fans have been left devastated after Princess Charlotte was seen crying at her beloved great-grandmother's state funeral. Kate, Princess of Wales, was pictured comforting her young daughter as she burst into tears outside Westminster Abbey following a moving ceremony for the Queen. Clearly overcome with emotion, Charlotte could be seen with her head in her hands. Alongside a sad face emoji, Nettie Royal tweeted, "Charlotte looked as if she was crying." While Karen Scott said she cried when she saw images of the 7-year-old upset. She tweeted, "I didn't think I would, and then heard the pipes start and then saw Princess Charlotte crying as the coffin drew up at the end as it went from the gun carriage to the car." Tweeting crying emojis, Jade added, "Is Princess Charlotte crying? Stop." Christine Smith posted, "Bless her. Tears for Gone. #Princess Charlotte." Lily Murphy tweeted, "Princess Charlotte wiping tears has set me off." Princess Charlotte and her brother Prince George bid farewell to their beloved Gone as the youngest members of the royal family to follow the Queen's coffin through Westminster Abbey. Royal fans took to Twitter to praise the royal pair for their bravery, while others said they had been in tears watching the pair walk behind their beloved great-grandmother's coffin. Margunson86 tweeted, "I'm so proud of you, Prince George and Princess Charlotte." Catherine Groves added, "Prince George and Princess Charlotte are incredible. I started crying the moment the choir started singing. Hugely impressed by the royals today." Amanda posted, "The photos of Prince George and Princess Charlotte are just hitting my mama heart tenfold. Losing their great-grandmother and having to grieve in front of the world is heartbreaking. #Queen Elizabeth I #Queen's funeral." The royal siblings, great-grandchildren of the Queen, were among 2,000 guests at her state funeral, joining their parents, world leaders and national figures from UK. George, 9, and Princess Charlotte, 7, walked behind the Queen's coffin as part of a solemn procession past hundreds of guests through the Gothic church. As the young royals followed their great-grandmother's coffin, flanked by their parents, the Prince and Princess of Wales, Charlotte held her hands clasped in front of her while George had his arms by his side. The foursome walked a little behind the King, Charles, and Camilla, Queen Consort, and ahead of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. As they took their seats, Prince George also appeared to shed a tear for his beloved great-grandmother. The young royals had arrived earlier in the car with Camilla and their mother, Kate. Charlotte wore a black coat dress with pleats at the back and a small silver horseshoe pinned on the front in a nod to her great-grandmother, black tights and a hat with a ribbon tied at the back. While her brother George was dressed in a dark navy suit and black tie. Ahead of the service, the Princess of Wales could be seen holding Charlotte's hand, and giving her a reassuring touch on the shoulder. Kate and her 2 children waited to one side of the Abbey's doors, watching quietly as the Queen's coffin was borne in. The trio then joined the Prince of Wales to form a row of 4 as they followed the coffin to the front of the Abbey. After taking their seats, the children could be seen studying their order of service at various points. Charlotte could be seen looking around from under the brim of her hat while the mourners sang "The Lord's My Shepherd." And her brother George was seen singing "The Day Thou Gavest, Lord, is ended" as he stood between his parents. At the end of the service, George followed closely behind his father, while Kate put a guiding hand on the back of her daughter, as the foursome got up from their seats and stood behind the coffin. Both children looked down at times as they filed slowly out of the Abbey. The pair then gathered at Windsor Castle with members of the firm for the Queen's committal service after the nation said farewell to the late monarch. The Queen's long journey to her final resting place, and to be reunited with the Duke of Edinburgh, began in Balmoral on the day of her death and will end with her interment at the castle's St. George's Chapel this evening. Both children looked down at times as they filed slowly out of the abbey. The pair then gathered at Windsor Castle with members of the firm for the Queen's committal service after the nation said farewell to the late monarch. The Queen's long journey to her final resting place, and to be reunited with the Duke of Edinburgh, began in Balmoral on the day of her death and will end with her interment at the castle's St. George's Chapel this evening.